After Hurricane Harvey had ravaged Texas, a woman found this mysterious fanged monster on a beach. If living through the ravages of a massive hurricane wasn't bad enough, imagine heading out to check the damage to a local beach only to be confronted by something that looks like it crawled out of a nightmare. This was the sinister sight which shocked a young woman on a stretch of Texas coastline in the wake of Hurricane Harvey in September 2017. Hurricane Harvey was the first major hurricane to make landfall on the US mainland in more than a decade. After 4 days in August, the storm brought record rainfall to a number of American states. East Texas was hit particularly badly, and the weather event became one of the wettest of its kind on record in the US. Areas affected by the hurricane saw more than 40 inches of rain fall between August 25th and 29th. This volume of rainwater caused extensive flooding in Alabama, Louisiana, Tennessee, and not least Texas. Hundreds of thousands of American homes were inundated with water. More than 30,000 residents were made homeless, and the bad weather and its aftermath prompted in excess of 17,000 different rescues. But the extensive and dramatic flooding didn't just have a human cost. The surge in water levels dumped a lot of debris from the sea onto the land. Most of this displaced material went by unnoticed by a traumatized populace. However, there was one grisly thing that washed up on an East Texas beach that was almost as shocking as some of the damage that Harvey wrought. Preeti Desai is a young woman who lives in the New York area and works as a social media manager for the National Audubon Society. This is a nonprofit conservation agency that works to protect birds and their habitats around the US. Desai and a team from the organization had headed to East Texas in September of 2017 to check on its coastal ecosystems in the wake of the devastating damage caused by Hurricane Harvey. The team's last call of the day was a stretch of beach overlooking Galveston Bay at Texas City. They were there to check on some bird species that the local Audubon group has taken under its wing. But while Desai was watching a group of black skimmers feeding, she detected a disturbing, strange shape lying on the shore in her peripheral vision. Intrigued, she alerted her colleagues, and together they approached the washed-up object. As they drew near, the team realized that they'd found the ugly and bloated remains of an unidentified sea creature. Talking to the ecological website Earth Touch News Network later, Desai said her first thought was that the corpse was that of some sort of lamprey. However, when she examined the dead creature up close, she realized that her first impression had been wrong, and for one very obvious reason. The decaying creature had jaws lined with vicious-looking fangs. Desai told Earth Touch News Network, "When I saw the mouth, I thought no way was it a lamprey. It looked like something that came from deeper waters." The conservation worker was at a loss as to what the dead fish was, but she knew of one avenue she could explore for a possible answer. Desai took to Twitter. The social media manager followed many naturalists, scientists, and researchers who had come to her aid in the past. Desai snapped a few pictures of the strange monster and shared them on her feed. She also tweeted, "Okay, biology Twitter, what the heck is this?" It didn't take too long for the social media community to start speculating about the dead creature's identity. Most respondents on the resulting Twitter feed agreed that the creature was an eel, but they couldn't agree on what species. Some thought it could have been a moray eel, but the creature Desai found had pectoral fins, which the moray doesn't have. Another Twitter user suggested that it could have been a shrimp eel, but there was also a problem with that person's guess. The creature on the Texas City beach was just too big to be a shrimp eel. Then Dr. Kenneth Tigg, a specialist in eels at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C., came forward. It appeared that his idea about the mystery monster's true identity may be closest to the truth. Dr. Tigg said that he thought the creature was probably an Aplatophis chauliodus. The Latin name roughly translates to terrible serpent, and it's clear to see why the good doctor made this suggestion. The Aplatophis chauliodus is more commonly known as the fangtooth snake eel, and again, it's a name that fits. The fangtooth snake eel, which sometimes gets called the tusky eel, lives in waters between 100 and 300 feet deep. This would confirm Desai's theory about the dead fish having come from deeper waters. Fangtooth snake eels are known for living the majority of their lives in undersea burrows. So how the creature ended up on the beach in East Texas remains something of a mystery. Yet while it's true that they spend their lives in deeper depths, fangtooth snake eels sometimes head into shallower waters. This could have seen the Texas City specimen get into trouble and find itself swept ashore. There's also a strong case to suggest that Hurricane Harvey also played a part in the fish's end. The tropical storm could well have created the conditions that led to the eel's death. Strong winds and currents around the area could have driven the creature to the Texas shore, although it's impossible to know for sure. But there's another twist to the fish's tale, and once again it comes from the office of Dr. Tig. It turned out that Dr. Tig wasn't 100% sure about his fangtooth snake eel theory. The eel specialist offered some other options that could also fit the bill. It's possible that Desai's discovery creature may have been a Bathyuroconger vicinus or a Xenomystax congroides. That's the larger toothed conger of the bristle-toothed conger to non-eel experts. All three of the potential species are found in the sea off East Texas, but because of decomposition of the corpse on the Texas City beach, it makes it hard to give a definitive answer to its actual identity. Apparently, if the tip of the eel's tail had been in better condition, it would have been much easier to tell exactly what it was. However, there's one more question about the elusive eel which is much easier to answer. One thing that's striking about the images Desai took of the rotting fish is that the eel doesn't appear to have any eyes. When Twitter users raised this, they were told that it isn't because the dead creature was sightless. The eel corpse seemed to be eyeless because of the way marine bodies decompose, and the deep-sea loving fangtooth snake eel doesn't have particularly large eyes to begin with. Soft tissues such as the eyeballs are the first thing to decompose when a sea creature dies, and since the fangtooth snake eel has small eyes, it wouldn't have been long after its death that they would have rotted clean away. It's bad enough to see those gruesome teeth in Desai's pictures, but the absence of eyes certainly adds to the horror. Whatever the mysterious sea monster that washed up on the shores of Texas City was, it certainly had its moment of internet fame. Desai's story just goes to show what social media is capable of nowadays. Just make sure you have your smartphone with you next time you head to the beach. You never know what mystery you may have to solve. Please share this video with your friends below, and don't forget to visit a new channel, WatchJojo MDS and WatchJojo Animals.